$20 per landing might not seem like a lot, but for flight instructors and pilots who spend a lot of time here in the cockpit, it's $20 each time that adds up fast. Thousands of feet of black asphalt at Falcon Field.
This is my office. It's my pride and joy.
Is where Stephen Devine does his best thinking.
My office is a lot better than the average American's, that's for dang sure.
The owner of Aero Angels flight training.
Our landing light.
Behind the controls in the cockpit.
And our navigation light.
His days spent teaching.
It is a lot of numbers. Through landings, you learn how it all works. I grew up in aviation since I was 6 years old. My father was a veteran. I am a veteran. I learned to fly when I was a young kid.
Hoping others to fall in love with his office.
The airport feels like home to me. If I could sleep here, I would.
Since starting his business, he's gotten hundreds of pilots in the seat and into the air, a rigorous training course for a reason.
You know, to teach someone to fly, they do hundreds of landings. You don't want to have your airline pilot not know how to land, and you don't want the people flying over your house not know how to land.
But a decision inside Mesa City Hall is going to cost people like Devine.
So limiting them to 10 landings is going to absolutely be a huge safety disaster.
Monday night, the City Council unanimously voting to charge a $20 landing fee with 10 free landings per month.
Each airplane on my average monthly cost is going to cost me more than my insurance and my cost to tie down just in the landing fees alone.
City leaders say the fees would bring in about $2.6 million a year to keep the airfield running, and those who spoke in favor of the fee Monday night say they don't want taxpayers to foot the bill for something they don't use.
I learned to actually fly here at Falcon Field. I clocked in over 100 landings.
Brett Rogers is now a flight instructor and says if this fee was here when he was learning, landings would have cost him $2,000 over the course of his training.
I just don't think the pilot shortage is going to get worse. Like, these students aren't going to be able to afford it. I mean, especially Falcon Field. This has been a training airport since World War II.
It's a cost Devine is taking on.
I can't raise costs because I'm going to have to close up shop.
So Tuesday, it's back up to the sky.
Devastation. Just completely devastated. This is what I built my life into.
Thinking what to do and how to save what he loves. The new fees start May 1st, and these flight instructors are hoping for some more conversations and hoping the Mesa City Council can revisit this. In Mesa tonight, Austin Walker for Arizona's Family.